Welcome. This is Money Heart, where we explore the emotional side of money. I'm Camille Diaz, and today we're discussing battling burnout with essential oils. My guest is Aubrey Kleinman. She's an esthetician, mom of 3 boys, and a doTERRA wellness advocate. Aubrey, welcome to Money Heart.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, very glad to have you on the show. And I feel like this is the perfect topic for a mom of 3 boys because burnout's probably something you deal with a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it's kind of familiar to all of us. Like everybody's been burned out at some point. I have kids too. Sometimes they just run you ragged. Both of us are entrepreneurs. That tends to be another source of feeling burned out. How does this typically show up in your life? What triggers your burnout the most? What do you usually go through?
Yeah. So I feel like whenever can't stand myself, it's usually a sign that, okay, I need to calm down and go use some oils, go relax somewhere and de-stress a little bit because then that starts being portrayed onto the kids. Maybe I'm don't want to say it, but yelling at my kids more than you want to. That's always also a sign. And just bickering and things like that tend to be the things that show up for me.
Yeah, I feel that a lot.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah. And I think we probably all do but I love the way that you put it of when I can't stand myself.
Yes.
Like not when I can't stand other people, but totally owning it as in when I can't stand me, then I know that me needs some help.
Yes,
And that's
exactly.
totally me too. And I'm like, man, I am just not fit for peopling today. I need to put myself on timeout. Like
Exactly.
that is the
Yep.
time. Yes, for sure. So how does this kind of tend to affect us? What sort of things do we usually experience when people are really burned out?
Not being able to sleep very well is always usually a sign in a lot of people. Also just tension, like in your shoulders and your neck. You just feel like your shoulders are just like way up at your ears, and you just feel that tension. Also eating bad, just those comfort foods or junk food, and we're not taking the time to really plan out some good meals to nourish our body with. Um,
It's interesting that you said not sleeping because when you're burned out, it's usually you're also tired. So having not being able to sleep be a symptom is kind of almost like it's in science, you call it a positive feedback loop. You're burnt out, so you can't sleep, and you don't sleep, so you're more burned out, and it just keeps feeding on itself and getting worse.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or too, sometimes you just have no energy to do anything and you feel like you're sleeping all the time, but you're just not really getting that good rest when you are sleeping. So then you're just feeling, like you said, just that positive loop going around.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. The same thing of like, I feel like I'm doing nothing, but I can't do anything. Like I have all this time. I'm just laying here, should be doing something. Don't want to.
Yeah.
I just
Exactly.
can't get off the couch, can't get out of bed, whatever it is. Yeah, definitely burnout feelings.
And then even things around the house too start to pile up. Dishes are piled up, laundry's piled up. There's things all around that need to be done, but you just don't feel like doing any of them. And you just sit there. And then you feel worse about yourself because you see all this stuff around the house that needs to be done.
Right. Yes. I feel like that happens in business too. Like you have all these things that you think need to be done, and yet you're just sitting there checking your last reel for engagement for the 45th time.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So we talk about money a lot on this show. I feel like money's going to come into play here quite a bit with these burnout emotions, and kind of on both sides. What do either you or your clients typically experience the most on the money side?
Yeah. So, like you mentioned with work, when we're burned out, that does show up in our business, and we're not reaching out to who we need to reach out to. We're not getting things done. We may have a list of our goals for the week, but it's not getting done. It's just sitting there. You feel like you don't know what to do next. You're helpless, kind of, and it can be overwhelming for sure.
Yeah, definitely overwhelming. And then, of course, if you're not following up with people or doing any of the work because you're just sitting there staring blankly into space, hoping that something will come to you,
And it's not.
it's not. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not. It's so weird. It just doesn't show up unless you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
if we do happen to actually, meet with somebody or have an appointment or something, we're not really giving them our best.
Yeah.
And so then that's also going to show up in the outcome of the appointment, And so it's a big deal to handle that stress and that overwhelm. And
Yeah, it really is, because you're right. Once you get in front of a potential client or a customer, however your business works, if you're burned out and then they're showing up asking you to solve a problem, which means
Mhm.
they've already got some stress and you're layering on your own stress, it's probably not going to go well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very unlikely to make the sale or keep the client or get an introduction to a new potential customer. All that stuff's
Mhm.
not going to happen.
Mhm.
And then, of course, then we're not making the money. And so then we get all kinds of frustrated on the other side.
Exactly. We're
Yeah.
depressed because then, how come I'm not making any money? So, yes, it's a
Right.
continuous cycle.
Right. Right. And I'm guessing that money probably brings up a lot of these anyway,
Mhm.
because most of us, not most of us, many people are not comfortable talking about money, talking about budget. We said there's too much month at the end of the money type of thing, so then we
Mhm.
end up with even more stress.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And
So,
then that comes with guilt, that comes with shame, and um, all it's just a never ending cycle.
right. Interesting how when we get stuck in one of those emotions, it tends to keep us doing it. You
Mhm.
feel guilty, so then you do things that aren't probably in your best interest, and then you end up feeling more guilty. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's really interesting. So how can we break ourselves out of this? I know there are lots of different strategies. So we're talking about battling burnout with essential oils today. Kind of give
Mhm.
us a crash course in what emotion and then what oil we can use to sort of relieve it, or maybe what oil and then what emotion. And I know you represent doTERRA, but we're going to keep this to a place where whatever oils you have at home or you find, you can use. So we won't be doing anything that's overly complicated. We're going to keep it simple so that everybody can give this a shot.
Right. Yeah. So one of my favorite oils is lavender. It was kind of like my first trial with doTERRA was lavender essential oil. And a lot of people are familiar with lavender. So we know that it can help you sleep well, or relax you. And there's some other emotional benefits behind lavender as well, besides those things. And so it's going to help calm the mind. So just like it can help calm us to help us sleep, it's going to help calm the mind. So it also helps calm those insecurities that can come up for us. And so being able to open up and to talk our true thoughts and feelings, sometimes that can be hard for people, but that's going to help open up that communication, help us with that fear of rejection, that tension that we may get, the emotional dishonesty. Sometimes we can be dishonest with ourselves about our emotions. And so then we're hiding, and then that can come across as feeling unseen and unloved if it's not dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
And so using a lavender is going to help open up to be able to communicate those feelings, to help calm us, help us to be a little bit more honest with our emotions, give us some peace of mind. And so with lavender, you can just do like 1 to 3 drops, and you can put that over your throat. So when you're talking about being able to communicate with people, you could put that on the throat to help with that. And then also just breathing it in is going to help calm us emotionally. You can put it on the back of your neck and shoulders as well.
Yeah.
So that was lavender.
I
And
love that.
then,
That is, it's, I almost feel like I just need you to drop a truck off at my house so I can make a little swimming pool out of it because
yeah.
all of those things sounded really good. So like that calming effect, I'm just going, okay, now I want to, and what's cool is I go, oh, I have lavender. I could do that. So I just learned something that I didn't know about before putting it on the throat. I'd never tried that. So now I'm like, oh, okay, I get to go try a new
Yes.
thing. So
Yes.
simple and easy to do.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your next one?
Okay, so the next one is wild orange and peppermint. So I love these two together, just doing a drop or two in the palm of your hand, rubbing your hands together and breathing that in. It's going to really help wake you up. So, like at that 2 or 3 o'clock slump we feel, this is going to help give us a little bit more energy, boost of confidence that we can get through the day. And then you can also take that and put it on the back of your neck. I also like to take it on my fingertips and then rub my scalp with it. And it's just like a little invigorating scalp massage to also help awaken the senses. But then like peppermint just by itself, this is going to help us when we just feel discouraged, disheartened. Maybe you just need a little bit of joy again. Sometimes our emotions just kind of want to take over and we need a little breather from that. Some things we kind of like, okay, we need to deal with this, but I just need a breather for a second. And so peppermint is going to help us get that breather, but then also help strengthen us to tackle that hard thing later. Right. And so 1 to 2 drops with a carrier oil, because peppermint is going to be a little minty. It is really strong. You're going to want a carrier oil with that. And then just apply that over the chest, the shoulders, and the back of the neck.
Okay, so first off, I want to go back to the orange and peppermint because what a cool idea if you're feeling like you want to reach for more caffeine or sugar or something like that, and those aren't in your nutrition plan, but you're having that afternoon like, and you just want to go grab something, trying the oil first before you put in foods or drinks that aren't maybe the best choices for you health-wise. And you're like, I really want to avoid that, but man, I really need it. This is like a great, maybe it could solve it. Maybe it could get you through to dinner, or maybe it could at least relieve enough of the stress and the tiredness that you're ready to make a healthier food choice and go, okay, yeah, I'm good now. I'm going to go get my, 100-calorie pack, or I'm going to go get my cucumber and cheese, or I'm going to get whatever it is that I'm supposed to, whatever's on my plan instead of the vending machine thing, the soda, the caffeine, the 3 cups of coffee, whatever. So that's
exactly.
Really cool.
Because coffee, it in the afternoon especially, it can actually hinder us being able to sleep well in the evening time. Yeah. And so, coffee in itself might not necessarily be against our diet plan or whatever, but it is going to affect us that evening to where we're not going to be able to sleep well. And then you've got all the toxins that are in energy drinks and all the unhealthy things with that. And so we don't want to put those things in our body. So like you said, if we can try something else first, give it a chance, see how it does, and then reassess.
Exactly. Yeah, just kind of interrupt the pattern and break that habit of, okay, I always turn to this. Well, maybe I could choose differently and try something else first, see if it works. See if it works, and then go. And the peppermint, what a great idea of giving yourself a little break, a little moment off when you feel that stress, when you feel the burnout, when you feel the overwhelm, and go, okay, I'm just gonna go stand in the corner, put some mint, just like breathe for a few minutes, and then come back and tackle this. I'll be ready when I get back. Explain what a carrier oil is for people that might not know that.
Yeah. So carrier oil is going to be like a coconut oil or extra virgin olive oil. The cleaner ingredient type of carrier oil, the better. And then cold press is always good too. So
I don't know what that means. What's cold press?
So on the bottle, it will say it's cold press. It's not going to be heated up when they were forming it. It's usually going to be a more natural type of
okay, so they weren't heating up whatever they were extracting the oil from to get the oil to come out. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I like fractionated coconut oil. It doesn't tend to go rancid like grapeseed or olive oil can sometimes go rancid a little bit faster, but usually you just if you're using it at home in your kitchen, it's going to be okay. But I don't like a baby oil. I wouldn't try to use that one. Or canola oil. I wouldn't try to use that. But like fractional coconut oil or vitamin E oil even would be really good to use as well. And so basically what that does is it just helps dilute it down a little bit to where it's not going to cause irritation or a burning sense to your skin.
Yeah. Okay. That totally makes sense. Good.
Mhm.
Thank you. Because I know not if this is somebody's first introduction to oils, they might not know what
For
that
sure.
is.
And going back to, if you've never used oils before, peppermint, it is, like I mentioned, cool and kind of spicy. So if you happen to get oils in your eyes, do not rinse it out with water because that's going to make it worse. So use a little bit of that coconut oil or that carrier oil to rub your eye, and that will help dilute it out too.
Oh, wow. Good to know. Yeah, really good to know. And I've used peppermint before for nausea when my kids are feeling kind of sick and can't keep the medication, can't keep whatever fever reducer we're trying to get in down. And so I've just handed them the peppermint and been like, here. And it really has made a difference. It's kind of amazing. Amazing.
It was my best friend when I was pregnant.
I wish I would have known way back when.
It was, it got me through my first trimester.
Yeah, that would have been lovely. I didn't know that was a thing then. And it would have been nice. Yeah, I would have used it for sure. I'm sure I would have had a whole bunch of bottles all over the house.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. What's the next oil that you have for us?
Okay. And then just wild orange by itself, that's going to help bring us a little bit of playfulness into our life. So sometimes if we're, or maybe a workaholic and we take our, job really serious, maybe we become too serious for a while, then we can.
Why are you calling me out, yo?
I'm calling myself out.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But, and also for a scarcity mindset. So going back to, the business aspect of our life and how sometimes we just get scarcity and then that shows up in being desperate, and we don't want to come across that way. And so wild orange is going to really help us balance that and bring us a little bit of joy and playfulness into our work. And it's also uplifting. And going back to these two as well, you can put these in your water. Now, you would want to check with the brand that you have. So not all of them are going to be safe for internal use, but doing a drop or two of these in your water, or like in the morning in your coffee, peppermint in your coffee is really good. It just gives it that extra flavor. And so I'm a flavor person, so I want to drink something that has a flavor to it. And so sometimes with water, I struggle, but adding those into my water helps me.
That's a cool idea. If somebody wants to drink more water and they just struggle to drink it without flavor, of putting a couple drops of an internal safe approved oil in there. Yeah, that's without having to put, sometimes you see those water flavor things, but they've got a lot of artificial sweeteners or dyes and things like that might not be what you want to choose. So what a great extra bonus option. That's so cool. Yeah.
Okay, and then the next one, it kind of sounds a little funny, but it's called copaiba. And this one is really good for those feelings of guilt or shame that maybe we get with, if we have little kids at home and sometimes we have to leave them for a little bit to go to work, and we may feel guilty because we're maybe in a really busy time in our business right now. And we just feel bad about that because, there's always going to be those ebbs and flows in our business. And I always say, like, work-life balance, sometimes there is no such thing, but
doesn't really exist. But it is I think of it more like a pendulum. You don't want to swing too far on one side. And that's really more the balance, is I'm going to stay kind of between these two lanes and try not to go over the side of the bridge or run off the road, kind of thing. But I might bounce between the work and the family and the other things. I'll go between the edges, just not over the edge on that.
And different seasons too. There may be a season where we are, maybe first starting out in our business, or we're wanting to grow our business to some degree. And so we do need to put a little bit more time into that. And, but then just letting the family know there is going to be an end, and we will go do something fun afterwards, when we've reached our goal.
Yes.
But Kapayaba is going to help us with those feelings of guilt or shame or inadequacies, the unworthiness. Because even when our businesses do well, sometimes we feel like we're unworthy of that.
Yeah.
And so using Kapayaba can also help assist us in those things. And remembering that forgiving ourselves is necessary sometimes. And Kapayaba can help with that. So for this one, you can use this one topically, 1 to 3 drops over the heart, perhaps on the forehead or the crown of the head, and then the nape of the neck. Kapayaba is also really good for just discomforts. So if your back is hurting, you could put it on your back. If your knee is hurting, you could put it on your knee and use it that way as well.
Yeah, I really love that little thing that you slipped in there about when we are successful, sometimes we don't feel worthy of that. And we're like, oh no, I'm successful. And we kind of feel weird. Like we start getting a little awkwardness happening. Yeah. So this, if something great happens and it weirds you out, what a great way to be able to go, okay, I would love to feel really happy about this and excited about this thing that I've been asking for years, and it finally happened, and now I freaked out about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I get it. That happens. It happens sometimes. Yeah. And definitely working on that, being accepting of the good things coming your way and expecting them and welcoming them when they show up.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have one more for us?
I have one more, and this, I love balance. So this one is a blend that is proprietary to doTERRA, but is I call it like my stress less blend of oil. And so you may have one that's just sitting around that's similar to help with stress and anxious feelings. But this one, I love to put this on my back of the neck and on my shoulders. And it just really helps those when you just feel like that tension in your shoulders or up at your ears, you can just put a little bit of this and you just feel all that just kind of melt away and you can relax. And this is a really good oil to even start the day off with. Like, let's just start the day to have a good day, like a good ritual or routine that you just put a drop of this on the bottom of your big toe is a great way to start the day. And this is really good to put on kids too. So, because kids can have stressful days and they can feel our stress too sometimes. And so this one is a really good one to use for just that grounding and preparing to have a good day.
Yeah. So definitely on the kids, because kids pick up and understand, or even if they don't understand, they still feel so much more than we usually think they're getting. They are tuned in to everything we're doing, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
Yeah. Explain the big toe. Most people wouldn't think, like when you say, put it on your neck and shoulders, we tend to know we have stress there. What's the big toe significance? How do we figure that out?
I love reflexology. So in reflexology, you have all of these meridian lines that run through our body, and they all kind of end up in our toes and in our fingertips. And so they all resonate with a different body part. And so the toe is connected to our brain. And so that's always a good place to put oils. If you can't reach something maybe internally, then we could rub it on the bottom of our feet. And it's a great way to help us to relax and get the benefits of those oils internally. And then it's also going to be absorbed quickly into our system.
Oh, okay. I've learned new things. Thank you. That is awesome. These are really, really cool. And I think that the tips you've shared have been so simple for us to do and to use, and really clear on how we could use this. What are you most excited about right now, or what's going on new for you?
So I'm really excited about these stressless tips that I've been able to put together and offer to people. It's a 9-day series, and it is a tip every day, and it doesn't last forever. So it's just 9 days, but they are just really good explanation of why you would going to use this, why aromatherapy is good for stress, and then how you can use it. And it's going to be a broken down, simple way or an explanation of how you can use this into your daily routine, and give you an idea of how you can reduce that stress that just it comes on us every day. There's no way around it, but we can help manage it to the best of our ability.
I love that. Yes. And you're right. The stress is going to be there no matter what. It's all up to us how we handle it. And of
Exactly.
course, we will put a link to that series, the Stress Less series with the 9 tips in the show notes so that anyone who wants to access that can. Aubrey, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much. You've got so much knowledge
Thank
to
you.
share. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I've had fun.
Awesome. Awesome. If you would like to get in touch with Aubrey, she says text is the best way to do that. It's 1-870-937-6457. We will have links in the show notes to both her Facebook and to schedule a connect call if you'd like to chat with her one-on-one, and of course to her Stress Less series. Thank you as well to all of our listeners and viewers. I'm your host, Camille Diaz. I'm a business optimization coach, financial educator, author, and speaker. You can contact me and find out what I'm up to through my website, CamilleDiaz.com, and follow me on social media at Cam Unfiltered. Be sure to follow Money Heart at Money Heart Show, and our website is moneyheartshow.com. Aubrey, would you like to share today's money mantra?
Yes. So money isn't everything, but it's also not bad either.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.